I picked my face up out this cake, and I was like, all right, Los, I'll break his jaw first.
He's like, what do you want me to bite? He's like, you want me to bite that? Every hand in that house smash his whole face. Like, I'm gonna fuck your nose, right?
I'm doing great, man.
How the hell are you?
It's an honor to have you.
All right.
What's your name, man?
5, 4, 3, 2. What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Los Cut It, and you're in the cut. We got a full house today. So, Ruben, shoot it away, baby.
Man, as you see, I'm not the most handsome person on the podcast today. I got a dude with a cut that's blinding me. It's so fresh that the light and God are shining on. I can't. I don't even want to look at him. Honestly, but today we got another banger for y'all, man. Last week we had my brother Loso and Vic Pondy pull up on us, so this is gonna be a great episode. But I'm gonna throw back to you because this is your homie of all homies, Los.
Oh yeah, we're ready to go. I'm just gonna get straight to the point because there's a lot of stuff we gotta talk about, and we only got under an hour. So with that being said, I want to welcome you guys, the one and only, my brother, and you hear this all the time, my brother from another mother. The one, the only. I wish I had like the arm. Mr.Official in the house.
What's up? What's up? We in the cut we in the Los Cut It. Wait, hold on. Let me start over. Tola. We in the cut at the Los Cut It podcast, season 2, correct?
Season 2.
Yes, sir.
Season 2. Honored to be here, and I got my homie with me today.
Who's that?
Okay, hold on, man.
Fresh.
Hold on, you gotta look to the left real quick.
Look at
All
shit.
right,
What
look
is
to
the house
the
party?
right. Look to the right. Okay, man. So this my guy Gio. Shout out to my man Gio.
Appreciate it.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me on, man.
What up, Gio?
What's up, man? How you been?
So, man, how'd you find yourself? I'm chilling, man. Busy. How'd you find yourself on this couch?
I'm a student at Official Cuts Academy.
Tola. Shout out to him.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Official Cuts Academy, everyone in there. Just working hard every day, and came here today to model for Yak and got the opportunity to hop on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, what'd you think of today's production, man? It was a long day, right?
Yeah, it was a long day, but it was worth every second, though.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot to take in, a lot to soak up, I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate it.
So, yeah, I mean, this explains the reason why Gio's fresh as fuck.
Gio Fresh, man. I appreciate you. And mind you, I haven't cut his hair before. He says I cut his hair during COVID. I don't remember it.
That don't count.
Yeah.
If you don't remember, it don't count.
Yeah.
You have to remember the cut.
But his pops. Shout out to Unc Jose. I call him Unc. He's an OG. He always been he's been a long time client of mine.
Nice.
And I met Gio obviously by way of his pops, who's been a long time client of mine, and Gio signed up, and man, this guy's a fast learner, Loso. I know we were watching the Loso episode, and we were talking about apprentices, and to me, it's always like in the door, you'll know when somebody has that gift.
Right.
And then some people, I'm not saying they will never get it, but they just need a little more coaching, a little more work.
Right.
But some people just catch on real quick. Gio's one of them.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, with that cut, too, you got to be feeling it.
Yeah, he was in here cheesing right now. He trying to control. Ruben had to check him. He's like, hey, man, look. Ruben, what you telling Ruben?
I said,
Check your shine.
I need you to lower your shine real quick. No,
Is it making you uncomfortable, Ruben?
because look how fresh he is, and look, I'm kind of busted right now, but
First of all, bro, thank you for being here. What do you think of the new setup, bro?
I love it, man. I love one thing about me, for example, like I have students that come in, like for example, shout out to the creations crew. I got 4 student instructors at Official Cuts Academy.
Right.
And when they come in, because they're scheduled, they're part-time, they come in Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
Every Tuesday they come in, they look around, they're like, yo, what's new?
Yeah.
What do you do? What's new? And they look around and they always, that's new. This is new. You changed this.
Oh, you don't be announcing it?
No.
Nice.
I go in, so to me, I feel like change keeps it fresh. You keep it fresh with change.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm real big on aesthetic and change and just keeping things fresh because, when you add change, it just, you walk in and you just anticipate it just feels good. It feels different.
Right.
So anytime, I know we went over there from the table, it was chill. It was dope. But right now we're on the couch, we're chilling.
This feels, I swear, I've always wanted my own talk show. And this is probably the closest thing to it. I get to kick it with you guys. I get to bring different guests and just chop it up, honestly. So that was the vibe we wanted to get, just have a set, like a little full set, which we got here. And
did it, man.
We had to throw it. This is one of the reasons why I didn't throw you on the first podcast, because I wanted to get it right before I brought you in.
So I'm here now. I love it. Let's get it.
We had Carlos, my apprentice, Los, on the last episode, and we one of the biggest things that we talked about on there, how strict you were, dude. I don't think a lot of people understand that or see that, especially like I was also talking about, like I've been to a few schools, and you start paying attention to like the new generation of barbering. It's completely different than what we're used to. How have you evolved in that aspect? Because I know dealing with barbers like me when I was working there 14 years ago compared to the new guys you got coming in, there's got to be somewhat of a difference. How would you explain that to barbershop owners, or people that own salons, or anybody that's a leader in a sense? How can you help them evolve with what's new or what's coming?
That's a great question. You know, based on, like you said, the last episode and how strict I was, right? So I come from a very strict background. You know,
Right.
I come up from a very cultured, background. My pops was like borderline militant. Like, you know what I mean? Like my mom was super strict. Like I grew up in a household. Again, I had 3 sisters, so I was the middle child. I had 2 older sisters. It was me, my younger sister, and then my little brother Moody. When Moody came around, I was already 10 years old, so I'm 10 years older than Moody. So I was kind of like a father figure to him for a long time before he got old enough to where we can kind of connect and click
Right.
on different things. So, it was just, I was the only boy, so my pops was, for a long time, was real strict and, just kind of, so that's kind of how I was brought up. My father had I don't know anybody, like I know you guys think I'm a grinder, I'm a hustler, and I feel like I am, but if I'm half the grinder my father is, then, that's an accomplishment, because I have never seen anybody grind their way through different things in life like he did. And here's a fact, right? So everybody, again, I have a New York background, East Coast background, and, for years I'm like, I was born and raised in New York, I'm from New York. The truth is, I was born in Berwyn, Illinois.
What?
Yeah, I was born on 16th and Gunderson. But
Okay.
I moved to New York when I was 5 months old.
Oh shit.
And so my pops, at the time, I couldn't even imagine like my mom, giving birth to me, and I'm like 5 months old, and he moved to New York City. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, like I'd be damned. Like I remember when my kids were born, like I couldn't go play basketball at the gym for like an hour. Like, where you going? Like, we got twins.
Wait, he lived with the family, or he lived with?
Oh, we
like-
all of us.
Damn.
And my 2 older sisters, it was me. I was 5 months old. My mom just gave birth, packed up, got rid of everything, went to New York City, started fresh.
Wow.
And I just seen him, work his way up from the bottom. Like he always says, as long as you have your health is the biggest blessing.
Oh hell yeah. The older you get, the more you realize that.
The more you realize that, right?
Big time.
And we say that all the time. Like, it's like, even when something happens, like, for example, like something happens to something materialistic you have, right? In Arabic, we have a saying that says, fil mal wala fil ayal, meaning, if it hits your money and not your family or your health, it's a blessing.
Wow.
Because anything that's material can be replaced. I love you, thank you. And he taught me, I did residential wiring, bending pipe, running wire. I could wire up this, He taught me a lot. And I was just like, look, getting up at 4 a.m. every day, hitting a supply house, working in the elements, it just wasn't for me, you know. So I was like, I want to go ahead and get into barbering. I wanted to, I had moved to Chicago. I seen the lack of barbershops and barbering. There wasn't, it wasn't there. Coming from a New York background where shops were everywhere, like the culture in New York, everybody looked fresh, everybody was lined up, everybody was dressed. It was just, it was the mecca of fashion at the time. I'm talking the 90s, like hip hop. I'm talking Big Pac. Like I'm talking, like the 90s. So I wanted to bring that to Chicago, and that's kind of where, I got into barbering. So I took that blue collar work mentality that my dad instilled in me, and I put it into barbering. So to me, I only knew that way. So now, I'm in a barbershop, and I meet people. I meet the GOAT. I meet Loso. I meet, I got my family, Andy, Orlando, G, Moody started at the shop. So like, Official Cuts was born, right? And to me, okay, I'm the captain of the ship. Okay, so I know I'm gonna run it. I never went to business school. I never, I didn't even finish high school, truth be told.
Man, I think what got me through was that I had just got out of boot camp. So you were light work compared to the 6 months of that I just went through. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I still feel like I had freedom working for you because when I was in boot camp, there
Yeah, I wasn't that bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
But seeing it where it is now, and that was like you just literally broke down everything of why you were who you were, like super strict. How have you evolved? That was I know your past. You know, you just let the rest of the world know your past. I know your past. What I'm curious is I'm wondering how the hell did you get so nice?
So
What happened?
I don't think
That's what I'm
I don't
wondering.
think I would. I think you grow, right? Because like at the end of the day, to me, I'm always like, again, I know what I know, I know what I was taught, and I'm a logical person, right? Me, having this work ethic, I hit the goals that I wanted to reach. Like I found ways, even like I'm kind of like you, like even working with my dad. Like we would be doing construction, doing this, doing that, but at the same time, I would gather up all the wires, all the old wires. I would gather up all the copper, all the aluminum from the job site, throw it in the van. And I would go home and I would peel the wire because, I would recycle all the copper. And if you peel the wire, they were giving you 18, 20 cents more per pound.
Wow.
So I was making more. I was making $300, $400, $500 a day every other day, because New York City, we were doing, 20, 30 unit houses. And when you pull that wire, there's a literal machine where you cranking to pull the old wire out of this pipe, and then you're running new wire. So, and I would go home and literally peel the wire because I was making more money. So I kind of found a way, and I take pride in this. Like, for example, when my brother was born, my brother, I'm 10 years older than my brother, right? So when I was 11 years old working with my dad, I bought a bunk bed that I paid $1,200 for out of my money.
Damn.
I asked my father,
Back then?
$1,200 from my money,
Okay.
from my brother. When he born, I had a bunk bed. I had money at a very young age. And my pops will tell you, and I always had money. I always knew how to make money. And I always, could see, kind of like you, like to me, like you were always a force within Official Cuts. Moody was always a force. Like Official Cuts to me is kind of like, it's the brand, of course, right? Mm-hmm. But then you have all these different entities underneath Official Cuts. So anyways, without veering off, to go back to your question, how did I, take my foot off the pedal a little bit? I think I got to where I needed to be. I got the original people that started, G, Moody. Like I look at all the OGs, but I know if we stay locked in, put in this work, like I was saying, like I remember your mom would come in and she would be mad, like because we wouldn't take any days off, we wouldn't go on these trips, and I'm like, look, right now we're putting in the work. We'll take trips later. Yeah, we'll take trips later. We'll relax later. But right now we have to put in the work because everybody that's taking trips and spending their money, they're going to be working hard later because they're spending everything they got right now.
That's true.
I said, we're
Well,
young.
they're not even building. They're just spending as they go.
I said, we don't have any kids. We're young. We have our health. We're in our prime. I said, you ain't going to be able to do this stuff when you have kids. You ain't going to be able to do this stuff when you got to go home because you got people waiting on you. Right now, it's all about us. So we need to build us.
Yeah.
And that was the mentality I had. And now, I say, humbly, I'm on my third passport book.
Nice.
In the past, I don't know. I mean, me and you, we've traveled the world together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Really. All over, every continent we've touched. And I say that, and I look at, everybody that's, G's killing it downtown. Orlando's killing it in his own spot. Moody's in the Bulls locker room. Zach LaVine, like, he's doing his thing. Like, Loso's, he went from apprentice to managing and running the shop. I didn't take my foot off the pedal. We put in the work to make our stamp. We put in the work. We have a brand. You can go anywhere in the United States, even internationally, and say Official Cuts, and they know who you are. They know who I am. They know who Moody is. So we put in the work, and now we can work smarter.
Yeah.
So a couple questions on Official Cuts. Obviously, you guys got a great reputation, and like you just said, you go anywhere, you good anywhere, right? How would you say when someone attempts to apply for Official Cuts, is there a period where they have to go through like a probation period? Like you can't miss a day of work for 90 days, you can't, et cetera, et cetera. Do you have any guidelines to enter to officially be a student there?
To be honest with you, that's a great question. I mean, as of late now, um, I'm really only hiring barbers that come from Official Cuts Academy. You know, you could teach skill. Skill can be taught, you know, but you can't teach people how to act. You can't teach people, you know, people are already too old, you know, they are who they are. I'm a firm believer people are who they are. Like if you enter a relationship thinking you're going to change that person, that's not going to happen.
Never.
That person is who he or she is. So I am who I am, you know.
You remember, Ruben? She is who she is, man.
As she is, I can't change her.
control it.
That's
Can't
cool,
change
bro.
it.
On to the next. But no, but as well as that too, because you know, a lot of barbers come from rough backgrounds, bro. I mean, we all, you know, a lot of us being from minority backgrounds, we come up in some different lifestyles, and sometimes they just don't know. So, for example, it sounded like your pops was heavily involved in your life and was always, you know, always there to be there for you. I would say, did he teach you financial literacy when you were young, or did you have to learn that on your own?
My pops was a man of very few words. You know, I'm a visual learner. You know, I think I'm more. I've always been somebody that can watch and learn versus being taught. Like I can, if somebody tells you that's free game, but you got to understand, people are not walking around telling you how they make money or how they do things. People are not telling you that. So if you have somebody that's telling you that, coaching you on that,
Yeah.
you better be listening.
Oh,
And
definitely.
if they're not, you better be watching.
No, for sure. So that comes to my next question then. So with that being said, you go, you know, you're into your barber schools. Do you ever mentor your students about financial literacy? Because look, in all actuality, you go into this industry, a lot of it's cash, right? And these kids, they come from $15 an hour jobs, even less, $10 an hour jobs, and out of nowhere they're beginning to make 30, 40, 50. And now with times and with heads, that's probably 2 to 3 times they're normally used to. Are you in their head, like not in their head, but are you asking them, hey man, like what do you have any, you know, do you have a 401k set up, do you have life insurance?
That's a good question. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you do or if you don't, but it would be cool to be like a student and to have like maybe 1 hour a day or one time a week where you give like certain goals or plans on how a barber should save money.
So check it out.
What
So
else?
check it out.
Before you tell that
Yeah.
story, because back when we were working at Official Cuts, me and Andy, when we would cut hair all day from 10 to 10 and make $300-400 that Friday, we would go straight to the mall and spend $350 on a fit, and go out and spend the other $50 at the club, and then
$50
come to work the next day broke. But it was just that we didn't know better. We were young and making cash.
But you know what? At the end of the day, you guys learned. I mean, again, we were all young.
Yeah.
You know, I opened up the shop. I was 20 years old. You know, you guys gotta understand our mental. Where we were at, like, you know, I think when I met you, you were 16,
18. Yeah, you met me
18.
at 17.
17, and then when you started, you were 18.
Yeah,
You were a teenager.
I was a kid.
I was 20. You know, I opened up the shop at 20.
Gio, how old are you?
20.
Yeah,
There you go. I was Gio's age.
Can't even imagine having a shop in
You know, so you know, but at the same time, yeah, we talk about it, man. And to me, I tell the students all the time. Like the last time we had this conversation in the classroom, I told everybody it's a simple. So like, how do you gauge what you're making? Like, you don't know what you're making unless you
Tally it.
you have to know how much you're making, and you have to know where it's going.
Yeah.
Simple math, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, when you file your taxes, right? A lot of people, like, you know, barbers, they want to file the minimum because they don't want to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Right? But they got all this money, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, all this stuff going to their accounts. You know, they got, you know, $10,000 revolving in their accounts monthly, right? But they're claiming they make $400 a week. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, how? Like, you know, so it's got to make sense.
You got to pay to play now, man.
You got to pay to pay. And so at the end of the day, we do talk about that. That's very important.
Good.
We don't do it weekly. I think that's a good idea. We might incorporate it actually once a week. I think that would be a good idea, because what I've noticed is now, you know, we're going on into our August will be our second year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we're going on our second year in August. We've graduated multiple students, instructors. We just had shout out to our last graduating class. My man David Padilla, Chaka, Steve, Omar, and then my guy Andres. So we had four,
OGs.
the OGs, you know, and
Yeah.
David was the very first student that signed up. So shout out to David Chaka. They just graduated. So we have, and then we have Tara Squad. She's getting ready to go. You know, we have my guy Nano. And so it's crazy because, like, we cover so much. I mean, last year we had 28 guest educators come in. 28. So we averaged, you know, what is that? More than 2 educators a month. Hitters.
Hitters too.
Yeah, hitters, you know. So but now it's like we have a new wave of students.
Let me know when it's time to go back.
You know, you're always welcome. We need you back. Now that's what I'm saying. So now it's like we have a whole fresh wave of students that now it's like, all right, we got to go through everything all over again. And that's kind of like where, to me, it's like, okay, you know, we're still learning. It's a whole new venture, a whole new avenue. And I'm still learning. You know, it's not perfect, just like everything. You know, you gotta just dive in. Obviously, you do your research, you do your work, you do your best, you do everything that you got to do on your behalf. But you can never be 100% prepared, even when you think you're prepared. So, you know, everybody that's waiting to make a jump, waiting to make a move, thinking that they're not ready, dude, you're never gonna be ready.
That's facts.
Even when you think you're ready, you're not ready.
You're gonna learn something new.
Because when you get in, you're gonna be like, you know, there's no way you can cover all your boxes.
Yeah. My next question is more for Gio. Gio, 20 years old. How long you been in Official Cuts Academy?
I've been there since October.
October?
Yeah.
So what is that, about 4 months, 5 months?
Yeah, about 5 months.
All right, man. Be honest. I got your back. What you think? What you think? Like, one, what made you want to sign up, bro? And two, how do you feel like it's going?
Like the ex said earlier, my dad's been a client of his for a long time. You know,
Who's his
so-
pops?
Jose,
Which one?
Unk, man. I mean, he's
I gotta know him, right? If I see him.
yeah, if you see him for sure, you know him, man. Smooth dude,
You
man.
know who I seen at the airport yesterday?
Uh.
So I was going to Miami, and I seen Big Jim.
Oh, Big Jim, that's
What's
my
up,
man.
Big Jim? What's up? What's good? You know, used to go to Yak, yeah, so and so. And then I'm like, he's like, man, what's with you? I'm like, man, Miami, I'll leave tonight. He's like, me too.
Nice.
So we both came and went to Miami the same day.
Okay, same time?
No. He left an hour earlier.
Oh, okay.
But it was crazy. It's like, what are the odds, right?
That's my man. Big
But I
shout
hadn't
out to
seen
Big
him.
Jim.
But
Yeah.
my bad, Gio. So you, I'm pretty sure I know your dad.
You know him if you see him,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, so I kind of grew up on like in the shop on Southwest, you know.
Nice.
Going from that and then seeing you guys open up a school kind of like
All that.
intrigued me a little bit. You know, I didn't sign up right away. I was probably like a year late, but you know, I needed to do something. My mom was on my back, kind of. So I was like, "Hey."
What's been your biggest challenge?
Getting to school on time.
Yeah, that too. Honestly, like trying to go like full time with it, to be honest, because I still work a 9 to 5.
Okay.
So like, I really want to make that push to like go to school full time and get in the shop.
How comfortable are you with cutting right now?
For how long I've been cutting, I feel like very comfortable. Honestly.
Yeah, that's good.
He's a natural, man.
That's good.
Yeah, he's a natural.
You know, those words, you don't use them like that often like that. You don't just let them out. So for him to say that, I believe it. The only thing harder to me than barbering, because here's the thing, right? At a barbershop, you could be a student, you could learn, and even if you're messing up haircuts, you're still getting some type of money. It could be a couple bucks. But the only thing, and I got to give you Ruben my flowers, because as a comedian, you guys rarely get paid, one.
Man, yeah.
And two, it's hard to make a living off that.
Yeah. Even on a happy day for me, bro, it's $30 a show and, 12, 15-minute spot. But luckily, I've already officially locked in my first private gig, and that pays pretty decent.
all right.
Well, Ru, let me ask you this.
And once again, before I forget, bro, 'cause I'm going to forget. Shout out, it was a barbershop that booked me.
What?
Yeah, Excel Barbershop in Warrenville, Illinois, and they got one in Lisle. So big shout out to just
Shout
you know
out
what I'm
to
saying?
Excel Barbershop.
Ever since being on this podcast, I've met a plethora of you guys, and y'all show me so much mad love, and they locked me in for March 18th. So big shout out to every barber period, man.
Well, you know what, dude?
Hey, hold on. Before you say something, I want to say something. Yeah, I'm just throwing this out there, man.
Yeah,
May not be a bad idea, man, to pick up the Clippers, bro, part time.
you all right?
Hey, I'm just saying, you might want to come see me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, hey, bro,
You
no,
might want to come through.
Yeah, trying to recruit.
I ain't trying to. This ain't a sales pitch,
said
but to me,
$5.99 a month.
if you got time, like
Yeah.
my man works at 9 to 5.
yeah,
Let's be real.
So does Ruben.
That's
Ruben
what
got
I'm
on the phone.
saying. That's what I'm saying. So if you grinding already, you put in that time in something else.
yeah,
Why not put that time into something that you can build, and something like it's a craft.
Yeah.
So you're putting the same amount of time. It could take you 10 months, and you get your certification, get your license, and then you could step into it.
Or that's cool. Or I don't know. Maybe excuse my ignorance on this. It may not be. May be out there. I don't know. Why not have some type of, I don't want to call it a class. That's what we do. We do classes. It's an event sometimes where you're kind of educating these new comedians, like the basic grounds. Like, hey, do you want to learn comedy? The right things, what not to do, what to do, and just have like $10, $15 a person and get about 20 people in here, and you have your friends that are comedians present a actual presentation on the ifs and don'ts. Like, what should you do? What you should not do?
That's cool.
And that way you're training these new comedians, and it becomes a thing. The better you get, they get. You get better talent. You get Ken Flores in here. Basically, because as you're telling me, you open Official Cuts Academy because of your connects, because of who you are. It's a lot easier to call on bigger names in the industry, and people are gonna respect you and be like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna support you because you're Mr. Official, rather than you just being like a John Smith that owns a school with no connections, no reach. Ruben, basically just based on the comedy shows we already had, the amount of people that respect you in the comedy world, and the amount of people that you're willing to get, 2 people cancel on you, you got 2 more people last minute. That type of connect is like, why not use the same thing that he's doing? Why not throw some type of event like, hey guys, $15 if you're into you're ever interested in being a comedian, or you want to know the do's and don'ts or what not to do, come check us out. $15 a pop.
Yeah.
And then you do a private class, and 2 years. Vic Pandya got 7 years, and you get other people's experience, and then you just pitch a class.
Yeah.
And I mean that just see, with me, I'm always thinking of like how can I improve other people's life?
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking like that.
And so, no, that's dope, because the thing is like, bro, I always get asked, I mean, hey, bro, I'm a new comedian, man. What advice you got me for? I'm like, bro, be ready to bomb, dog.
Don't quit your job.
First of all, be ready to bomb, because people come in, they'll have 2, 3 great shows back to back to back, and then their first bombing, and your first bad haircut, pretty much,
No. First bad haircut on stage.
on stage while 50 to 60 people are looking at you and doing it. And I never got booed off stage, but I've seen someone get booed off. He hasn't done comedy. He hasn't done comedy ever since. And
that might break you, man.
yeah, bro, dude. But the thing is, it's like, man, I always tell people, like, dude, you're gonna do great some shows, but you have to be willing to understand that someday the crowd is just not there, or someday your jokes aren't just hitting. We had a comedian that killed 2 shows ago, and then came here and it was but it was just.
I think a lot had to do with the placement of. I think if he would have started earlier, because the thing is, we've been testing. Like, we do classes, right? We could host a 6 a.m. class, but it's not going to be the same as a 9 a.m. class. It's not going to be the same as a 1 p.m. class. People have different moods, different times of the day. The comedian he's talking about, we had him on earlier shows, and he killed it. Crowd was more alive. You were here.
Right.
He was a good. You remember him? Obviously, you saw him. We had him last time.
Dudes, man.
We had him as a closer, and it was like almost 11 p.m. So by then, a lot of people were just already
Tempo was down.
lit. People were giving out Hennessy shots, and it was just, people were lit. So I'm learning as I go, because it's the same thing for us. When we're educators on stage, if it's a slow motion show and the energy isn't there, who do they call first? Mr. Official. Get the crowd going, right?
Right.
It varies. Can you close it? Can you, who do you put in between? So there's a lot of similarities, because we're both just trying to make it and try not to bomb.
And
That's true too.
But it's just one of those things, bro. It's the inevitable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not gonna be 10 for 10 all the time. And I mean, even like we were talking about earlier, bro. I don't look at it for the money, because you're not gonna see any type of change for the first couple years. You're begging to be on shows. You're not, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. So trust me, because people always, hey, how much you get paid for it? That's the first question they'll ask you. And I'm like, bro, I'm not. No, like I'm broke, baby. Don't worry. But like, hey man, how much you get paid for it? You get paid good. Like,
Why I would just start fronting, bro. Just be like, it depends.
You trying to book me, my dude? Like,
What's your budget?
Hey, after March 18th, you might see
What's
me.
your budget?
Hey, after March 18th, bro, you're gonna see me like my man's right here, bro. All like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So let me ask you, this private show, is it just you?
no. So once again, bro, it's all about giving back to your homies.
Okay.
I'm bringing 2 of my homies. I'm blessing them with
Nice.
some
So you put
cash.
it on a whole show?
Yeah. So they were like, dude, how much for just you? I'm like, bro, I want to give you a show, though. I'm gonna bring some homies with, because they're always down to performing. Obviously it's the same aspect. I'm like, I need this, but I need you to also have this. This is as far as DJ, microphone, etc. and it's actually a birthday party for the owner. So it's going.
Nice.
So it's the way they have their shop too, bro. We were talking about it on the last episode. Barbershops are very more aesthetic based. So they got neon lights, they got nice, very very powerful lighting coming from. They got grids on the top, and that's how this shop is set up. High ceilings, everything. So
Beautiful.
it's dude. He showed me a picture. He's like, "This is gonna be okay." I'm like, "Bro, that's beautiful." So it's gonna be amazing. He's gonna pack the shop out with all of his friends and family, and we're putting a barber chair for him. So it's gonna be a roast session too. So his mother,
You got a picture of him, and all
bro.
that?
Yeah, dude. His mother actually gave me some cheese man that she gave me some things I could talk about when I'm roasting him. So, but yeah, man, it's so cool, man. Like I said, I'm very very fortunate.
Can't trust nobody.
No, not even your mom.
Not even your mom.
I'm just
He said his
excited, man,
mama gave
bro.
me
So big thank you to the whole barber community for fucking with me and official.
You
cuts,
alright, you
these
alright.
one, bro.
You right.
He was like, "Let me humble you." He was like, "You told my man." to-
Yeah.
Lower your shine.
Yeah, lower your
Hey, we're
shine.
gonna need you to bring that shine down just a little bit.
So what I'm saying is,
Good as Mike. No, but speaking of all that, like, dude, it's crazy because I got to bring up your birthday back in the day. So a long time ago, bro, years ago. Mind you, Yak's grown a lot lately. You know what I mean? Like in the Hispanic culture, since I've been involved.
I thought he was Mexican. You remember that?
Now we're the beard like that.
Nah, bro. What? I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm kidding. No, don't start with me.
That's a facade. That's the real deal right here, man.
You know what I'm saying?
But
He
dude,
said
so
wish and that.
mind you, listen, as a Latino, right, as a Hispanic, when you bring a cake to somebody, what's the first thing you're worried about, Ruben?
Of a cake.
After you blow your candles out, what don't you?
Oh, someone's gonna smash your face.
Right. So as a Latino, we know this.
Yeah.
So what year was this?
Bro, it was my 21st birthday.
Yak started
No,
going
no,
up
not
swinging on
31st,
people.
31st maybe.
Nah.
It wasn't. Dude, you opened your shop at.
Oh, that's true.
21.
You're right. You're right.
He said
Yeah,
21st.
yeah, it
I'm
was
like,
something.
10 years
20,
old.
you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
so-
My 18th birthday.
Hey, but can I tell you something? So on a side note, that was my first birthday party. No, hold on. Let me stand corrected. My 10-year-old birthday. I had a 10-year-old birthday party. And my family. That was the only birthday because
He has a core memory.
No. Hell no. I got an elephant's memory. My family, like I said, we don't celebrate nothing, bro. Like I'm Muslim. I grew up Muslim, like super. My family, like. We don't celebrate nothing.
Hey,
like
you got a
eight,
4.0
that's it.
GPA in high
Like yo,
school.
we acknowledge everything. Like you were saying, like Easter. Oh, that was there. All right, cool, respect. You know, oh, this is the day he was born. Oh, respect. You know, that's it. But ain't no parties, no trees, none of that. We don't do none of that. Like we go to work. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't know that, right?
No. So like real quick, my 10-year-old birthday party. I'm gonna tell you why. That's called your Eid Salah. That's when you are
man.
now. It's like you're a man. And I
you're
have to
working.
start praying. I'm obligated to my 5 daily prayers.
Oh wow, 10 years old.
10.
Wow.
Yeah, because you're a young man. So that was a birthday party. That was the only party I had up until this one. So go ahead.
So 30s, late 20s, give or take. It had to be 10 years ago. So I'm gonna give you like 30, 31,
All right,
29. So we throw them a little birthday party. All the guys from the shop, they meet up in my crib. And I get them a cake and all that. And I'm going to find the footage and I'm going to put it right here. This man had no clue. And mind you, we know he don't speak Spanish. So we put the cake. Everyone was like, que le
Muerda, que le muerda, que le.
My man don't know. He's like, hey, dude, this guy.
Yo,
He's like, what do you want me to bite? He's like, you want me to bite that? I had
you
some
said
barbecue.
blow out the candles.
I was like, no, after you blew them out, que le muerda means bite it. I was like, bite it. And you had a barber chair in your cake. And I was like, bite it. You're like, what do you want to bite this? I'll bite this, bite that. And somehow you just leans in didn't even have a clue. Bro, every hand in that house just went in there and smashed his whole face. It almost broke your nose, right? It was like,
Yo, look. This is
He started
long
Mike
story-
Tyson everybody.
Long story short, long story short.
before you say that, imagine you don't know what's going on, Ruben.
Oh, bro.
And people are genuinely telling you to bite the cake, and all you know next is that you're just getting jumped. He's like, ain't nobody jumping me.
Ain't nobody
Yo, but,
jumping.
yo, this is the thing, Ruben. So I was presented with one or two options after that. You know what I'm saying? So I picked my face up out this cake, and I'm like, do I like?
Do I react?
Do I? This is where like I got to control my demons at this point right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, the first person I turn to my left is Los, right? Then I look to my right, and it was Andy. And I was like, all right, Los, I'll break his jaw first, and then I can catch Andy before he gets away. So, and then I was like, nah, it's cool. I'm like, it is what it is. You know, I took my L like a champ. You know what I mean? I went into the bath. I cleaned myself up.
You didn't know.
Oh yeah, y'all were some assholes for that.
Yeah, you didn't know.
I definitely learned that day.
Nah,
But
it's-
you know, just to piggyback, like you were saying, you know, again in New York City, growing up in New York, I wasn't around no Mexicans.
Right.
Like, respectfully, the only Mexicans that were in New York were the ones by Home Depot. You know what I'm saying? They got you for you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were always outside.
Drive off for the
Those
love.
are the only Mexicans. Like I grew up around Dominicans, Puerto Ricans,
Yeah.
Cubans. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I came to Chicago, like you were saying, like, you know, to me now I'm like my Mexican culture. Like again, my wife's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my wife's Puerto Rican, and you know Chicago, the Mexican Puerto Ricans, they're always like, you know, there's something there. It's like a tension. I'm not Mexican. I'm not Puerto Rican. But you know, it's like when it comes to boxing or you know, and I don't think it's a
friendly
hatred, but it's like a
Friendly
friendly
competition.
competition.
Yeah.
You know, so like now when I'm around like my in-laws and my relatives, then it's like a Mexican, Puerto Rican. You know, you know, it's Viva Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all looking at it.
Yes,
What's up,
sir.
man? No, but respect. I love my in-law, but you know, it's like that's that shop culture. That's what it. You know, so I have a lot of that like Hispanic Mexican culture in me as much as like you have Palestinian
Yeah,
culture in you.
Big time.
You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with like Andy and the guys in the shop. And that's the beautiful thing is that, you know, we all bought our, you know, just cultures and differences and religious beliefs and things like that. And we have a very great understanding of them. You know what I mean? And that was one lesson I had to learn the hard way. So
Yeah.
Hey, look, after que la mordiste, bro, after you ate that, bro, you became 3% Mexican. So you,
Yeah, that qualified.
Literally,
That was your
man.
jump. Like, this,
yeah,
you
get-
can have
get
that
jumped
back. If I can give that back, I'll give you that 3% back.
I remember you years later. You were always telling me, "I'm gonna get you back," and I would always fear that. Like the few parties that I've thrown and you showed up
You
at,
just rekindled that memory in my brain.
I'd always because here's the thing, Yak ain't gonna come on some like soft shit. He gonna attack.
You ever seen Jackass, bro, where the hand
I
with
had
the
two
cake,
cakes.
he
I
walks
had two
in,
cakes,
bro, and then Los is gonna be walking into his house and just big ass.
And the cake was dope. And the cake tastes good, so.
You still got some right there, bro.
Now that you're a school owner, man, and you know you ran a shop
20 years.
20 years, official cuts. It's crazy. Now that you're a school owner, you've been talking about this for over 10 years. I remember the day you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel now that it's happened? You're already going in your second year in, and what's one thing that you do that's different that you can say that you take pride in compared to other schools? Like, for example, Papito Bless Hands. Shout out Papito.
Shout out to
Fort Worth,
Papito.
Dallas. He has a barbershop or a school. And what I think he does different, he also covers content creation classes. Like, he has a photo studio there, and he shows people how to capture their videos and their content. How relevant that is for these new generation barbers coming there. They just want to know how to shoot and create content rather than let me learn how to cut and style. So I think merging both is kind of a cool concept. What do you feel like you guys do different, and why is it beneficial for anyone to want to sign up? I mean, outside being you're not located in the hood.
To me, I'll say, you know, we're in a blue collar area. I think we do a lot of, personally, what I take pride in is we do a lot of community work. Like we offer free haircuts almost daily
Right.
for certain parts of the day, especially if it's nice outside. We're outside with signs, free haircuts, we give back. You know, a couple months ago, we worked with some orphans. So we had a school bus, you know, shout out to Loso. Speaking of Loso,
Yeah.
one of his clients is a teacher at Eberhard and on 63rd. And we had a literal school bus pull up, and, you know, we had about 22 students come in that are orphans, you know, or that, you know, there's nobody really to care for them. Either parents left them, things like that. Like they're all have individual situations. And we had a whole day. We made it. We had food catered. We had the PlayStation, video games, Jenga, board games. They all got their haircuts. It was picture day, a couple days before picture day.
Nice.
We did that. So shout out to Loso for that. You know, to me, it's what I like to do. I mean, you know, content creation, all that stuff is cool. I mean, educators, like I said, we had 28, 30 guest educators. All that stuff is going to come. But to me, it's about giving back, you know, and remaining humble. And, you know, it's a win-win because the students get to get their reps in and get the practice in. But at the same time, we also get to give back. So to me, you know, we started from nothing.
Right.
You know, we started from nothing. You know, and again, I've seen my father come from nothing, start, you know, over and work his way up and come down, you know. So life is like, you know, we're sitting here right now, Los. It don't mean that one day everything can come crashing down for us and we might have to start over again. But I know for a fact, if that were to be the case with you, you're going to be all right because I know who you are. I know your work ethic. I know your grind. If that were to happen to me, God willing, I know I'd be able to soldier my way back through and get to where I need to go. So to me, it's a matter of always staying grounded, staying in tune with people that, you know, don't have those strengths. Like you were saying, you know, everybody's not a grinder. Everybody's not a hustler.
Yeah.
You know, so if, you know, we had a guy walk in last week, he came in, he's like, yo, it was like the barbershop movie. He's like, yo, I ain't got no haircut. I got a job interview. I need a haircut. I was like, yo, say less, bro. Go have a seat.
For real.
Get your haircut. You know, so it's like things like that. Like when you're presented with those moments, those opportunities, I feel like that's what, to me, makes us different, is that we do a lot of giving back, whether the students realize it or not. You know, where like to me, you know, it's not about like the $15 I charge for a haircut.
Yeah.
You know, like
I get
a
it.
lot of schools only charge, like there's no, like nobody's gonna run free haircut promos all day long. So I think that's really it. It's more of a family. I think to me, my school is a family, honestly. Like it's a family culture. It's got its own culture, man. Everybody is love in there. Like everybody vibes out, man. You know, and to me, Official Cuts has always been that. So it's like instilling that culture into the future where, you know, our school is a vibe, man. Everybody in there is, I mean, it's just, I can't explain it. You have to be a part of it to understand. I know Gio could probably maybe elaborate a little more on that, but, you know, to me, it's you know, I would say what makes us different is the way we move, how we move together as a team, as a unit, and then giving back.
One thing that that's helped me in my life is changing my perspective. A lot of times you may look at something one way, but if you try to find the good in everything and you change your perspective on it, you're going to change the way you feel. So if knowing that you're in that class, mind you, I started with Yak when, who knew we were going to be in the level that we are today? Like no one knew. We were just literally owner and worker. But that family vibe that he talks about, I know exactly what he means because I was there. I built it with him and the rest of the guys. So I know the vibe that you have there because I've been in other schools and it's none of that there, bro. You're going to have that same feeling of not wanting to be there along with I don't mess with that person, I don't mess with that group, I don't like this, or not wanting to cut hair, no support system, no nothing, and that eats you up alive. But it's also, you have to go through all that garbage, bro. You have to enjoy being anywhere that you want to be. Because if you just get to where you want, if your father is Yax Klein and Yak's going to look out for you and he's going to make sure you graduate and he's going to hold your hand throughout the whole thing, when you get to where you want, you're never going to appreciate it because you didn't physically do anything yourself. You didn't go through any hard times. But if you go through all that, bro, and you're cutting the homeless, you're cutting people for free, and you're dealing with a lot of like people you're ideally aren't, like that's not your type of clientele because in your vision you want to do what you're seeing on the Instagram and all that. Go through that hard so you can truly enjoy and appreciate the good. That's the only way that's going to happen because this is how you get people like these kids that were raised by these parents that were giving them everything. They don't know what it's like to have nothing, so they don't appreciate anything good. But when you start from humble beginnings, man, you can get to that place and in life and in your career that you can look back and be like, because I'm sure you heard it, and yeah, you know this. It's not the goal, bro. It's the journey.
100%.
It's never the goal because how many times have I had goals to be like, I want to be on a magazine. I want to be on this. I want to be on that stage. And it was never about actually being on there, but it was all the shit that I had to go through to make it there. And that's when I look back and I'm like, all right, I like to enjoy the struggles. Like I like to really think back and humble myself all the time, which is why I surround myself around people that are good people, not just people that are famous or people that are this and people. A lot of my closest friends, people don't even know off my social media because they're not on social media, you know? So that was just some advice for you, man, growing up.
100%.
Because even though you're 20 and I get it, at 20 you probably feel like you're like, I know enough. But being 24, looking back at 20 is like being 20 looking back at 16 years old. Mm. If you think back to when you were 16 or sophomore in high school, you'd be like, I was a kid. I'm 20 now. And it's going to happen like that every 4 years of your life. 24 to 28, 28 to 32, 32 to 36, you're going to look back and you'll be like, damn. So that's my advice to you, man. You're in good hands. And I know this because you're always at the school now, right? When he was always at Official Cuts, that's when that vibe was there.
Bro, I don't even, like, I cut my hours. I cut hair I cut hair Thursday, Friday, 9 to 2.
At school.
That's it.
Damn, yeah.
And then when I do, they'll tell you, like, guys, this is what I'm doing. Like I space out my appointments, so that way I'm breaking down what I'm doing. I'm answering
That's
questions.
dope,
Like
man.
I have a studio suite. I mean, laid out in the school. I haven't cut one head in there.
I know.
I haven't cut one head. I'm on the floor because I want, unless I get a client who's, that needs his privacy or doesn't want to be around, just I have that. I'll be able to offer that service or give them that level of, privacy. But my clients, they're all cool, man. They're proud of me. They're proud, they're part of the journey. They've been there since, you know them all mostly.
Yeah.
Like you just ran into one in the airport, his pops, if you see him, you know him. So these are all people that are like, they respect the grind. They respect the hustle.
understand
They're supporters.
yeah.
It's not about like you can hook somebody up, like Gio right now. Let's shout out to Gio Fresh, but I'm just saying, like if Gio, for example, wanted to see me next week for the same cut and I couldn't get him, he might wait a week and then try to get me the second week and I couldn't get him no more. Okay, but he might go to somebody else, maybe not get him as sharp as this, but get him sharp enough
Yeah, and lose.
and get him consistently. He's gonna be like, all right, yeah, man, you hook me up, but I can't catch you. I'm gonna go by my man because he can get me weekly, and I need to look fresh every week. I know we're kind of winding down on time, and I just want to say, I'm extremely proud of you.
My dude.
I know this you featuring me, but to me, sitting here, I'm talking to you,
Right.
and again, I wouldn't be here without you, and I'm always appreciative because we stood in there together. And to see your growth and, be able to support your journey, the way, you stood next to me and were able to support mine, which we both grew. And, it's just it's a blessing. And, to be able to see everybody that put in the work, reap and the fruits of their labor, like you were saying, it's the journey. So to me, I'm proud. I'm proud of what what we've done. I'm always proud. To me, those are probably some of the best days of our life in my life because we came from nothing, and I get to hold my head up high when we sit here and talk about the amount of work that we put in order to be able to relax and enjoy. And I'm not saying we made it. We're not chilling by all means. In fact, I think you're working harder than you ever have. I know I am. But we're able to do what it is we want to do.
Yeah.
Where we want to apply ourselves. What type of work do we want to do? We're not, we have a little more flexibility. So I commend you, man. And, you're the GOAT. I always call you the GOAT, man. And, you are a creative genius. Obviously HQ, if you're an influencer, an educator, a content creator, not just in barbering, if you're a stylist, a makeup artist, anything, HQ is where you want to be.
Average Panda in the house.
Average Panda. Okay, so they have a whole production crew in here. Rent the space. It's a beautiful space. You can pack house in here. You can hold events in here. So I commend you for that, and I'm excited to kind of get this working this year here. Yeah, man.
We usually get sponsored by Babyliss, but being that Mr. Official is a Babyliss and a level 3 sponsor, I mean, congrats, man. I got no gifts from him because he got all the gifts I got.
I'm gonna get some gifts. I'm stealing something. These guys trying to do me. You see how he trying to do me?
You got the tequila over there, bro. You're looking at that bottle.
Like
We got the new lithium FX, the new gold. I'm gonna gift these to you.
I know where the stash is at, man. Look, I'm gonna take these and trade them in a second. Not saying, these are hold on, but look, these are fire. I'm not saying I just have 3 pairs of these. And then shout out to Babyliss Pro. They just dropped the trimmer.
Oh yeah,
the lithium trimmer. So there's a combo. So be on the tune for this. We're gonna do some unboxing. I'm gonna be back here tomorrow. So be on the lookout for the unboxing.
Every time this man gets a gig, he always includes me in it.
Always got
100%,
you, bro.
Like a lot of my bags come from this man just by saying.
Bro, that's real.
And then look what he's trying to stiff me without a gift.
No, bro. Everybody got to eat, man.
Everybody got to eat, man.
Before we log out, is there anything you want to throw at Mr. Official real quick?
Not necessarily him. I'm about to name drop my business. I'm selling Ruben Sells Antiques. Ruben Sells Antiques. If you need me for any barber antiques, you can find me.
Hey, he gonna be the middleman and shit.
No, but hey, look, because now we're at the hour. I didn't want to, but if you can sum it up in like 10 seconds, Mr. Yak.
Mr. Yak.
So that endeavor, you know what I'm saying? You're an entrepreneur. What made you dip into the antique business as well?
You don't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from.
Ooh.
You said 10 seconds.
Okay,
This
give
is
me
one.
like 20 more seconds.
All right, cool. 20 seconds. Nah. So to me, it's just, we have such a rich history, brother.
Yeah.
Barbering is the oldest profession in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Some say,
Prostitution.
yeah,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying. But we'll say the oldest legal profession in the
Oh,
world.
there you go. There you go.
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm saying?
technically it was legal at one point, but yeah.
Technically, it was legal at one point.
Technically, it was
one or
illegal.
two. It's one or two. You take
Illegal.
your pick, right?
In some parts in England, it's always been legal.
Take your pick, So again, just I like to embrace history, man. I'm a man of culture, a man of history, a man of root, and even as a barber, man, our barbering history is so rich and rooted, and there's relics everywhere left for us. So I like to restore them, embrace them, talk about them. It's our origin. Again, today I was talking about a barber supply. Speaking of barber supplies and talking about the barber plug, we were talking about the oldest barber supply in the United States. The first one ever was Noonan's Barber Supply out of Boston, Massachusetts. And I had an advertising piece this morning that I hung up at the school. And the piece was from the 1920s,
Wow.
but the company dates back to the 1800s.
Wow.
The very first ever barber supply in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, T. Noonan. So, to me, it's like fascinating because they're the ones that are now inspired. Like they birthed the barber plug,
Literally.
respectfully. That's where it came from. So that's the very first one. And now you're talking about, innovation and tools and trimmers,
And how many
clippers.
barber supply stores do we know across the nation that are killing it that aren't even barbers,
Exactly.
but they just have love for that? You know what I mean?
But it's a $1 billion industry. And, regardless of, like, for example, we're educators for level 3, which is a men's product line. We're educators for Babyless Pro, which is a clipper, an implement line. Booksy, an online booking app. None of these people are barbers.
That's true.
Okay. But, at the end of the day, that's how big our industry is.
Yeah.
So, you got Ruben. He's a comedian, but he wants to be a barber. You know what I'm saying? So,
I like that.
shout out to my man Ruben. Hey, Ruben's funny as hell too. That you guys don't know Ruben. I attended one of his first comedy shows. Him and his whole team, everybody that he had was hilarious, man.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure y'all follow my man
Dude,
Ruben.
we just held our last show last week, and I told him, I'm like, dude, even though I heard your act 3 times already, you were the funniest one tonight. Not that the other people weren't funny yet. I guess I just kind of seen the growth in Ruben and how he controlled the crowd better, because I do tell people, man, when you're on stage, whether you're an educator, a comedian, or anything that has to do with any type of presentation, it's all about the science and how you move. It's not necessarily about what you do, it's how you do it. And if you control the crowd and you control the laughters, you control this and all that, that's what I saw in him. And he had the whole crowd rolling. Like, laughing, like Lady Curls was just running around in circles. And I thought it was very hilarious. So I had to give him his flowers and all that. But
No doubt.
But
Appreciate it.
guys, we are at the hour already. I know Ricky's tired. We're tired. We had a long 12-day shift of editing today. But we definitely got to bring you back again. I definitely got a lot
always
more
down,
things
man.
to talk about. Whose phone's ringing?
Is that mine? Oh, I
Okay, it's
thought I had
our
on
guest.
silent.
It's our guest. It's our guest.
It's our,
Hey,
I know you told wifey 1 hour, but damn.
She like, no, she
it's
knows
106. It's 106.
She's like,
She got a timer at her spot too. She's like, okay.
Nah, I got a zapper on my knee. Oh shit.
His beard goes out and everything.
no, but dude, hey, thank you for being here, bro.
My man, brother.
Like I said, we could go on forever, and there's a lot more that I want to bring you back for another episode. Just to shoot the shit, man. Come here. There's a lot of things that I want to go about it and topics and get your input on it. Maybe we could hold a Q&A with it, people from Instagram and all that. But definitely try new things and new ways to evolve.
Always,
So
man.
with that being
Always a
said,
pleasure.
Gio, when's your graduation day?
You still got ways to go.
No, I know, but hey, you always got to remember that.
He still got ways to
I
go.
don't know how many
2025?
hours I have at the moment. No, definitely not 2025.
2024?
Hopefully, yeah.
He's
man.
banging them hours out. If he comes full time, like he's saying he will, he'll be done sooner than later. But he's on it, man, and it's a pleasure having Gio. It's a pleasure spending the day with Gio. Shout out to my man Gio.
Thank you.
For real, he came through
Thank both of you guys.
from from modeling to jumping on the podcast. Thank you for allowing him to
course,
be on the
bro. Of
podcast,
course.
man. This is my little bro. Again, his father's family, man, and Ruben, pleasure, man.
Thank you, brother. Always,
Always.
always.
Great seeing you, man. Ricky Clutch in the background. I know they can't see you, but we're going
Está bien
to
chulo.
point to the, you know what I'm saying? Ricky
But-
Clutch. All right,
Let's go.
we out.
My dude.
Man.